Welcome to That's Derm Good. I'm Janelle Ball, and I'm excited to bring you thought-provoking conversations about biologics, specialty medications, treatments, and so much more. I'll be chatting with some amazing guests about access, affordability, and advocacy. You're really going to enjoy this show. Welcome to That's Derm Good. Today, my guest is Dr. Kyle Landry. Dr. Landry is the co-founder and president of Delavie Sciences. Welcome, Dr. Landry. Thank you for joining me.
No, thank you so much for having me. It's so exciting to be here.
I'm really interested to learn a little bit about Delavie Sciences, but you went from food science to skincare. So I'm really interested to learn about that pathway, how you got into the skincare side. So, yeah, and then I'm really excited to talk a little bit about longevity versus the anti-aging fad
Yeah,
that everybody's been on for I don't know how many years. It's been a long time. Everybody's always talking about anti-aging. So I'm excited to hear a little bit about that. But tell me where De La Vie Sciences came about and how you got into this industry.
yeah. So that's a very long and winding story. So I'll try to make it a little short, but you're 100% right. I'm a food scientist by training. And then after I completed my PhD, I had the privilege of working with Dr. David Sinclair at Harvard Medical School in the genetics department, focusing on longevity. And that's really how I, dipped my toe in the longevity space. And then from there, after, filing some patents with him and creating some cool technology, we ended up working in the government space. And of all things, working with the US military and our allies to mitigate biological warfare agents. And that led to us working with NASA, having various subcontracts with, quantifying bacteria, trying to clean the space station, working on the Mars rover. And that's when we were introduced to an organism that survived outside of the International Space Station for a year and a half. And when we started working with it, we discovered that it had amazing SPF boosting capabilities and amazing longevity properties. So we decided to spin out Delavie Sciences because we thought no one would buy skincare from a quasi government agency, a quasi government company. So Delavie Sciences was born out of that. We co founded this with myself and Dr. David Sinclair with the idea of leveraging all of the longevity knowledge that we have from decades of research and applying it to the skin, which at that time was novel. When we first launched, it was novel. Now all skincare companies are talking about longevity, right? You can't go anywhere without longevity. But when we started, 2018, 2019, longevity in skincare wasn't really a thing. And we were kind of pioneering that space, but now it's come full circle. So I'm happy to say we're in the mix.
Exciting. First, working with NASA and we just saw the launch to space, that was pretty awesome thing to see, but you being able to work directly within that, I think is pretty cool. What was your aha moment where you really realized that this could actually change how we think about skin aging?
Yeah. So this came there were two key points and very important. And I'll tell you the first one was working with David and understanding what longevity actually means. A lot of people think longevity means, oh, we'll just live to 200 years old.
Right.
That is not ideal because you can extend your life, but that doesn't mean your quality of life stays the same. And this is kind of, I don't want to say paradox, but people don't think about that, right? Like right now, um, we're able to live a long time relatively, but the quality of life is in question, right? So I'd rather live to 75, 78 years old, 80 years old, and only have 2 years of decline instead of living to 90, but having 20 years of decline, right? So I'd rather be active, be able to engage, be social, and be productive for as long as possible and only have a short amount of time, when you're failing, then have more time when you're basically in limbo until you pass away. And that changed my mindset of longevity because at the time I was like, okay, living to 200, right? I didn't have that thought process. Now for skincare, it's the same thing because people think skincare should reverse age or reverse make your skin younger. It's not possible, right? You're never gonna make your skin go back to 20 years ago, right? But what you can do, and this is where the longevity piece of skin comes in, is you can make your skin the best it can be at its current state and protect it for the future. And that's where we position and how we create technology and ingredients to accelerate and improve your skin's ability to be resilient and protected from continuous bombardment of all the stuff that we deal with every day, while also making it the best it can be. And guess what? When you make your skin the best it can be at its current state, it's gonna look younger because it's gonna be the best possible functioning it can.
I like how you put that because I think that is so true when we think about I want this anti-aging or I want my skin to look younger or, that's really how it's marketed. And I think everybody always automatically assumes like, oh, if I get that cream, then my fine lines are gonna go away and I'm gonna look 20 years younger. What do they say? 30 is the new 20 or something like, things like that. But that's what the focus has always been, making yourself look younger. But I like how you put that into perspective. You're not going to make yourself younger. You're just going to work with what you have and help strengthen your skin because the elements, the sun, all of that stuff is aging us. The foods that we eat, it makes a huge impact on our bodies.
And a great, relatable thing is going to the gym. When you
Mhm.
start working out regularly, you just look younger. Your skin looks better, right? That's not meaning your skin is reverse aging. It means it's just becoming better. It's becoming more efficient. It's becoming better hydrated. Its metabolic functions are increasing to make it make more hyaluronic acid and protein and peptides, right? So that is like our goal is to basically give your skin what it needs to be the best it can be, to look its best and continue to look its best for years to come. And that's I think consumers now, especially in the pro-aging world, are in the know or that's what they're thinking. They're like, "You know what? I know I'm aging, but how do I look the best as I age?" And that is what, we're targeting. Now, I'm not saying that we're not gonna help minimize wrinkles or remove things that you don't want, but that's because those things naturally go away as you improve your skin's overall well-being.
Mhm. Yeah. Can you talk a little bit about how the term skin longevity can replace anti-aging and what does that mean in simple terms? And why do you feel like anti-aging is starting to feel either misleading or outdated?
Yeah, anti-aging is no aging, is basically what it means, and you're always gonna age. If you find a way to not age, let me know, but you're always gonna age. Longevity means your skin is going to be able to withstand, I don't wanna say the test of time, but will be able to be its optimum or its best for a longer period of time. Basically, like I was talking about where as you age, you wanna still be productive and functioning in society and only have a few years of downtime before you pass away. It's the same thing with your skin. You want it to be as efficient, as effective, as beautiful as possible and maintain that until towards the end, and I know it's grim to talk about that, but that is what longevity is. It's making you be the best person you can be for as long as possible, and it's the same with the skin, and that's what we target and we try to do.
Right. So people should be more focused on targeting that instead of worrying about the anti-aging or not aging.
Well, the thing is, some of the ingredients that are used have longevity benefits, right? Like sunscreen's a great example. Outside of some of the controversy with some of the ingredients, when you minimize the damage from the sun, you are minimizing fine lines and wrinkle formation. You are minimizing age spots. You're minimizing dark spots. All of those things that we associate with aging skin get minimized when you use sunscreen, right? So that's a prophylactic preventative measure where you're minimizing and extending the longevity of the skin. Things like vitamin C, vitamin E, other antioxidants do the same thing. They fortify your skin and protect it from stresses of the environment, right? Now, hyaluronic acid and other hydrating and plumping things, they may temporarily minimize the fine lines and wrinkles because you're adding more hydration. and they may not necessarily be preventative in that sense, but that's more the instantaneous effect that people, assume are anti-aging. But I think just, a healthy lifestyle and being conscious what you put on your skin and what you're actually trying to do, which you can never really completely reverse what happened, but you can, like I said, prevent further damage from accumulating.
Right.
That's the focus.
Yeah, absolutely. I think there's a huge trend now of, people wanting to use less products and having simpler routines and moving away from that 10-step skincare era. In your opinion, what are some non-negotiables in a solid skincare routine?
So you hit it right on the head, and this is something that we believe in 100%, which is why we have so little products. People may say, "Wow, how come you only have 1 serum and 1 moisturizer, 1 face wash, 1" because we don't need to skew you and, exactly how it sounds, but we don't need to give you 20, 30 products, which you don't understand how they work, and when you put them together, you don't even know if they're working. So I think for what you need, 1, you need a good sunscreen. I don't care if it's mineral, I don't care if it's chemical based, just something to help minimize damage from the sun. Any sunscreen is better than no sunscreen. And what's interesting is sun damage creeps up on you, right? When you're in your 20s and 30s, you think you're invincible. You love getting roasted. Oh, beautiful. And then when you're 50 and 60, all of a sudden you're like, wow, what happened? And by then it's too late, right? You can't reverse that, but you could still enjoy the sun while minimizing the wrinkles that form from sun exposure. Okay. The second thing is a really good moisturizer. And this could either be a really good serum, it could be a good cream, or it could be a serum and a cream. Something that's non comedogenic so it doesn't plug your pores, something that is compatible with your makeup, right? You don't want to have to fight with pilling or problems with foundation or running, right? Something that works and something that, balances your skin's microbiome or doesn't affect it to the point where you get breakouts or you get irritants or itchy or dryness, right? And then finally, a good cleanser, right? So the cleanser is key because during the day, you have your makeup on or your other products, and you accumulate debris on your face throughout the day. And even like pollution, for example, when you walk down the street and the exhaust fumes come out of the car, they are binding and sticking to your face and they are binding and sticking to the stuff that's on your face. So you want to make sure you remove that every night and every morning. And a good cleanser that can remove those debris, remove dead skin buildup, unplug pores, and really set a good foundation for then the moisturizer and the sunscreen is ideal. I think that's what people should start with, just 3 products, maybe 4 if you want a serum and a moisturizer, and see how it goes, because you'll be surprised. And I talk to a lot of people, they're like, "Oh, I'm so afraid to stop using a product." I'm like, "Well, what is it doing?" They're like, "I don't know, but I'm afraid to stop using it." And I go, "You know what? Take a 2-week detox, because guess what? If it's really doing something, 2 weeks shouldn't be detrimental to your skin, where you could put it right back on and it should go back to the way it was, right? But take 2 weeks, see how your skin is, have it reset, and then add one thing at a time to actually see what those things do. Or like I said, maybe the bare minimum, a moisturizer and a face wash, maybe a cream, right? Just see how that works, because you may be surprised that it works just as well as the 10 products you have,
Mhm.
saving you money, saving you time, right? All these, saving you headaches and possible, breakouts or damage to your skin.
Right. So you got one extreme where people are not wanting to change their products that they've been on for a long time. What about the opposite where people are like so quick to jump on the next best thing? What do you say to that? How much time do you spend before you switch to another product? Because
The FOMO.
I'll have to admit, I've probably been on that more times than not, where you see something, you're like, "Oh, I wanna try that," and then you just don't know because you're not everybody's telling you, "Oh, this is great, and this one you should try this product because this works really well for that," and it's nonstop.
The FOMO, of course, that's the marketing in the commercial machine of the United States in general, or just industry in general.
Mhm.
But just like anything, you need time, right? Products that say, instantaneous results and stuff like that, they're usually not permanent, right? They're usually there for maybe an hour or 2, and then they fade, you have to keep reapplying it, right? So those I would stay away from, but products that target certain things that are supposed to drive wellness in the skin or longevity in the skin, 3 weeks, I would say a month to a month and a half minimum, right? So, 1, say you're using a bunch of products already, and then you stop those and switch to new products. Your skin has to have this adjusting period, right? You go all of a sudden go from these products cold turkey to something new. Your skin has to adjust. Ideally, you should wait, a week or so to let your skin balance before switching complete skin routines, right? So, you've been using these products for years. You should stop using them for a week or so, let your skin kind of balance out, and then try something new and then use that for at least a month because most clinical studies in skincare is at least 28 days or a month. So you have to try them out. And then I would go another time. So at least 2 months of the product to see if you really like it. The only time I would say is to end quickly is if you have, it's itching, it turns red, or you're allergic to the product, which happens a lot, right? Because people have different skin types. So if there's not an acute problem or something instant, try it for at least a month, ideally 2 months, and then you would know, "Okay, I don't notice anything or I notice something." And then you can try a new product, but you need some cool down period in between for your
Mhm.
skin to kinda balance back out again, so you're not competing with products. That's what I would recommend because I've talked to a lot of people who, they'd be like, "Oh, I switched to this cream, and I switched my cream, and I switched my toner, and I switched my, serum, and now I'm breaking out. Which is causing the problem?" I said, "Well, I have no idea. You switched 3 variables."
Mhm.
I can't tell you. Go back to ground zero and try one at a time and see which one does it. Or maybe it's the combination of those 3.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. It's good to kinda give yours I like that. Giving yourself a break in between switching products makes way more sense than just cold turkey and switching.
Yeah, and a lot of people are like, "Well, I'll cleanse myself with, like, face washes and my cellular cleanser." I'm like, "That's a product."
Mm,
Using rags or makeup remover wipes or micellar cleanser, something like that to reset your skin, that is a product. That is not resetting your skin. Resetting your skin is like soap and water, like the
yeah,
same you've been showering with forever. Just let it go, and then redo it.
yeah. It's hard for a lot of people, I'm sure.
Oh, it's hard for a lot of people. I mean, people like their routine. They
Mhm.
they like the feel, they like the scent, they're afraid of the unknown, right? They're like, "Oh, I look like this. If I stop, what happens if I change?" But like I said, stopping a product for a week shouldn't be detrimental, right? It's not like all of a sudden you're gonna turn into a raisin. It's just gonna be, "Okay, 1 week, I look the same, let me try the products again," and then they should bring it right back.
Right,
They're truly working for you, and maybe they don't, and then you're like, "You know what? Maybe these aren't effective. Let me try something new."
yeah. So tell me about your products that you have. How many you said you've got a small amount, so tell me a little bit about what you have and how they work.
Yeah, so we have our cleanser and toner, in, a subline called Layer 1, and the cleanser and toner feature our patented ingredient from Harvard Medical School. It's actually my patent with David Sinclair, and this is a unique mixture of enzymes that break down your sebum or face oil, unplug your pores, stimulate collagen production, and help balance your skin microbiome. Very gentle, very effective. The clinical data we have, is mind blowing. I mean, it'll remove 77% of your sebum on your face. It'll remove 46% of dry material, so dead skin cells, build up grime, gunk, makeup, whatever you want right away without any scrubbing, but we have a built-in scrubbing brush on the bottle. It's just a great effective product, and it makes your skin, you'll feel it right down to the first layer, which is why we call it layer one. It removes everything, strips everything nice and gentle. It actually just won 2026 Best Gel Cleanser by New Beauty, which we're happy to say was exciting. So that's our,
Congratulations.
yeah, that's our cleanser line. Only two SKUs in that line. And if you were going to pick one, just get the cleanser. Toners, they have their purpose, but I'm going to say they're not necessary. Not everyone needs a toner or wants a toner, that's an extra step, but I would say a face wash, like I mentioned before, is ideal. And then the Aonia line, which is our longevity, age-defying line, not anti-aging, but age-defying, features our patented ingredient Bacillus lysate, which is certified space technology because it came from the International Space Station. And this ingredient hits key longevity pathways. So it activates enzymes or activates something called sirtuins in your body. And sirtuins help repair DNA, help basically make your cells be as efficient and as effective as possible. It also tells your cells to make more hyaluronic acid. Now, everyone loves hyaluronic acid, but normally it's in products and you hope some absorbs. This tells your cells to make its own. And nothing's more effective than your own hyaluronic acid, which is why we get great plumping, great wrinkle reduction, great overall hydration, elasticity, firmness, because your body is making its own. And then it also protects from UVA free radicals, which lead to fine lines and wrinkles, and is a great general antioxidant. So that is in our serums, our moisturizer cream, and our eye cream. So we only have three classifications of products in Aonia, but for the serums, we have the original serum, which is amazing, and we have one formulated for people with sensitive skin that actually has the seal of approval by the National Eczema Association. So it's very gentle, can be used. People with, very sensitive skin, and those are phenomenal. So that's our product. Very, very small, but they're very effective. People see results or start seeing noticeable results in 2 weeks using the product, some even sooner. And this just keeps getting better and better the more you use it because it's turbocharging your cells. So it's not like a regular cream where you put it on and it feels hydrated and then at the end of the day you're dry because those creams work by like binding moisture from the atmosphere and keeping it on your skin, right? The more you use our product, the more efficient your cells get at making hyaluronic acid, at protecting themselves with sirtuins. So it just gets better and better and better, and all these people call it the Aonia effect or the Aonia glow. There's something about it, but as you continually use it, your skin just gets better and better and better and more efficient. You get new skin cells turning over. The viability of your skin or the health of them goes through the roof. It's phenomenal, and all of our clinical data is available on our website for people to look at. So if they find this intriguing, just go there and click Skincare Science, and you can see all of the data, all of the trials, all of the type of people who were involved in the studies.
Yeah.
It's fanatic.
So, would this work for all skin types then?
Yeah, so this has all been tested, clinically tested on all skin types. What's interesting is there's some benefits that we see for certain demographics, like melasma and hyperpigmentation for darker skin folks is phenomenal. And this is something we never thought we would target. But after our first clinical trial, the trial site called me and was like, "Hey, Kyle, can I talk to you about something?" I said, "Sure." And I thought it was bad. I was like, "Oh my God." They're like, "Hey, we didn't see this in your pre-read packet, but we have a lot of people claiming that their melasma and hyperpigmentation went away after using this for like 3 weeks. And we have the data showing it's like 45% reduction. And they're blown away by it because when you do clinical trials, you have to say, okay, this is what the product does. So they're informed. And we didn't have anything on there. So being a scientist, I was like, I have to figure out how this works. We have end user data saying that it's removing hyperpigmentation or minimizing it in melasma. So we went back to the lab and we tested it in test tubes. We tested it on tissue cultures. And we found that it actually inhibits the enzymes that are turned on to make hyperpigmentation or melasma, all the dark spots. It actually inhibits them. And we can reduce melanin production by almost 50% in those overexpressing damaged skin cells. So we connected all the dots and we were very happy to do that. But that was an unexpected surprise. that we have
Yeah.
from the study.
That's exciting. Do you find that people are really excited about learning about the clinical trials and the studies behind the products versus just, just taking word for it? You see so many products online that you hear about, oh, this is perfect for that, but then you don't hear any data to back it up. So to me, I love hearing about these clinical trials. I think it's exciting.
Yeah, so you're 100% right. Most people are jaded, like defense is up because they've been burnt so many times. So we have 2 things going for us. 1, we create our own patented ingredients you can't get anywhere else, right? A lot of cosmetic brands are just repackaging the same ingredients and putting a new face or new name on the product. We're making ingredients that are exclusive to Delavie Sciences. And, they're patented. We have all papers around them. We do clinical studies on them. So we know what the ingredients do. So you're getting something really special, right, with these products. Second, we do extensive clinical trials, right? We do safety tests, then we do efficacy testing, and we do scientific testing as well. So we're scientifically and clinically proven to do these things, not just scientifically proven. And people think, oh, scientifically proven is the same thing. No, it's not. That just means it was done in a lab in an assay. It wasn't done on people. So we do it in the lab and we do it on people, and we release our data, which, like you said, you'll see a statistic. 84% of people said they loved the product, asterisk, and it was like a 10-day trial with 5 people, the end, right? We actually release everything so you could see how it was measured, the protocols, the number of people that were there. So you could see for yourself what we have. If you wanna try it, I almost guarantee you'll fall in love with it because that's what we've been seeing, since we launched our first product in October of 2022. Yeah.
I was gonna ask how long it's been available.
So
So
we launched
2020.
Yeah, we launched our first serum. We only came out with 1 product. This is how bad we are at marketing, right? I'll just tell you straight out. We're a bunch of scientists who create effective products, but we don't make dozens of products to sell to people, which I guess is bad marketing 101. But we know they work and people love it and it keeps growing because of word of mouth and, the spread. But we launched our serum in October of 2022, just 1 SKU, and we did phenomenal. Like, we're blown away with that 1 product. Then I got the green light to make a second product. And I said, "What is a hard product that to make that's like hit or miss?" And everyone's like, "An eye cream, eye cream. I can never find an eye cream I like." This is what I heard. "Never find an eye cream I'm like." So I'm like, "What eye creams do you use?" They either say none or all of them. And I was all of them. They're like, "Yeah, I'll use one for 2 weeks. I won't like it. I'll use another one for 2 weeks. I won't like it." And I just go down the aisle. And being a guy, I like creams. I don't know. I'm like, "Okay." So we made an eye cream. And this eye cream's won a bunch of awards, a whole bunch of things, and again, it's formulated specifically for under your eye, and it leverages our patented ingredient to target the concerns around the eye, which is dark staining or dark color and, puffiness or sunken eyes, things of that nature, and that went well. I mean, we sold out, I think, in, the first week or something like that, or a week and a half, something like that. It was blown away, and then I got a call and they were like, "We need something for people with sensitive skin." So I was like, "Let's make the sensitive skin serum." Again, only launching 1 SKU a year. We're so bad. We're like, "Okay, we have a serum and an eye cream. Now let's make a gentle serum." And that's basically what we've done. The only time we've launched more than 1 SKU was with Layer 1 last September when we were like, "Let's actually launch a package that people can use together." And that's a face wash and a toner. We launched that, and that people are absolutely in love with. That's by far my favorite product now of all of them is the cleanser. You gotta start with a good foundation, and layer
Right.
1 makes you have an amazing foundation for any skincare routine. It doesn't have to be ours, it could be any. You're gonna notice a difference right away using the cleanser.
Well,
That's it.
so tell me, you said earlier that you didn't think that the toner, like a toner in general, is that necessary. Like, why do you think that? And why does I feel like almost every product line has a toner in it.
Well, that's so the toner has its place in between, you know, uh, treatments per se or applications per se. If you wanna hydrate or wash with something that's not water, right? If you have hard water or something like that. If it has actives in it, then yes, okay. And I will say our toner and face wash is interesting because most people don't think of a face wash or a toner as having functionality outside of washing your face or hydrating, right? Like, how many face washes do you know also have longevity properties? 0, right? Because our patented ingredient stimulates collagen production, is a great antioxidant, does all these things. Not only are you washing your face, removing dirt, debris, grime, oil, you're actually stimulating collagen production at the same time. So, and the toner does the same thing. So the toner has, other things in it to help hydrate and soothe, but our patented ingredient is also unplugging your pores, breaking down your oil, things that a toner really shouldn't be doing, right? Like a toner is just you splash on, hydrate, maybe some witch hazel, something in there, right? To do it, tighten it a little bit to tone it. Well, you're also having the benefits of the hydrolytic enzyme complex ingredient, unplugging the pores, balancing the skin microbiome, and stimulating collagen production. So it's a twofer because they're synergistic,
Mm,
where the face wash cleanses, strips everything, balances your skin microbiome, gets your skin ready, and then the toner starts firming and tightening, adding that other soothing effect of a toner while still addressing the oil, the plugged pores, and collagen production.
okay. So
It's not just rice water.
yeah. So tell me a little bit about the microbiome. That I feel like is getting a lot of attention as well. Can you break down what it actually is and why it matters?
Yeah, so the microbiome is the population of bacteria on your skin. Most people associate microbiome with your gut, right? Your gut microbiome. And there are tons of products to address this yogurt, kombucha, supplements, just eating a salad does the same thing, right? But the skin microbiome, no one really knows about or cared about, but they deal with it all the time. If you've had pimples or breakouts, sleep on dirty sheets, and you wake up the next day, right? You are affecting the skin microbiome, and products affect your skin microbiome. And what certain products can do is they can kill off the good bacteria and let the bad bacteria take hold. And if it does, you can end up with things like pimples, redness, dryness, irritation, right? All these things that you don't want. But then guess what you do? You buy products to try to mitigate them that further destroy the skin microbiome or affect it in a negative way. And you're in a downward spiral. And then you end up having massive breakouts. You get scarring, right? So, what's so important is that when your microbiome is out of whack, it's called dysbiosis. This is a scientific term, dysbiosis, imbalance. And a lot of products before never really took this into account, right? They just thought, okay, we'll put fat in there, we'll do this, do this, do this. And then if it makes people break out, oh, we won't sell it. But now there's a key focus on how can you give these functional benefits of longevity, for example, and hydrate the skin while not leading to this dysbiosis. And there's a lot of things outside of products that affect it. Hygiene's a big one. You know, you don't wash your sheets for a while, then all of a sudden you start breaking out, right? You got the oil on the bed sheets, you got the bacteria growing on the bed sheets, it's going on your skin. Your diet is another great example. A lot of greasy foods, fat foods affects the sebum production on your face. That leads to plugged pores, allowing the harmful bacteria to grow. That's dysbiosis, right? Even laundry detergents can affect it. The environment, going outside, even cohabitating, right? So believe it or not, if your significant other has, dysbiosis, they can transfer some of that bacteria to you from pillowcases or whatever. So now it's just we're aware of it. We fully don't understand it. Like, well, I don't think we'll ever do just like the gut, but we're more aware of what drives that. That's one thing we're focused on 100% because as being a food scientist, I know about the gut microbiome and how foods influence that. So I wanted to make sure that our products don't have a negative effect on the skin, which is why They're certified beneficial by my microbiome out of Europe, where they looked at how it impacts the good bacteria and the bad bacteria.
Wow. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, the things that we're putting their environment. And sure, you probably see a difference based on where people are located, whether, New York City and they're using the trains and the subway versus out in the country is probably a whole different type of, environment that's affecting their skin.
Now, I don't know any studies that have looked at that. I mean, I haven't looked at that, but I do know that if you travel quite a bit and you eat
Hmm.
different foods around the world, your gut microbiome is gonna change.
Yeah.
And even your diet, and I'm sure if there are some listeners out there who tried to go vegan or vegetarian for a little bit, the first few weeks are kinda rough, and
Hmm.
that's because your gut microbiome has to shift from digesting fatty, high protein foods to carbohydrate or cellulose or, fruit and vegetable type foods. And that shift is very not comfortable. But after about 2 weeks, your gut gets used to it. And then anyone who's been a vegetarian for a decent period of time, the minute they have any meat, they don't feel good. And it's the
Yeah.
same thing. Your gut is not used to it and it causes problems. So the same thing with the skin. Traveling around, using different water, being in the country, surrounded by more dirt versus being in the urban environment, all of that impacts it, but we just don't have enough information to fully understand it yet.
That's really interesting, though. Well, you said gentler actives may outperform aggressive treatments. Why is that?
So aggressive treatments have their place in their shock and awe. I think it as like, okay, they go in there, they do something, and then your body has to adjust. Where gentle applications that accumulate over time, I think about it as exercise, okay? If you've never exercised and you go to the gym and do an Olympic workout, you're gonna feel great after, but the next day you're gonna be dead. And you're gonna what do you think? "I'm never doing that again." Then you have to deal with this for 3 or 4 days, and then eventually you work up the courage to do it. Where if you start with gentle actives that have proven to work and you slowly increase them or you build your routine to focus and highlight them, yes, it may take longer to see an effect, but it's sustainable and it's not gonna be shock and awe to the system. Where if you do something aggressive, like maybe a massive peel or a massive treatment, and your face is all red, it's irritated, it hurts, and you're like, "Wow, this is great for my skin." Maybe your skin won't like that, and it'll come back, and that's why sometimes after laser treatments, you have more hyperpigmentation or you have some stuff that pops up, and where if you would have done something more gentle, you would have seen it slowly acclimate to it and then get to it. But like I said, they have their place, and some people like them, but I would say try the least invasive thing first. Try these things to see before going to 1,000 miles per hour and
Yeah.
thinking it's gonna solve all your problems.
I think because we live in a world where we're getting everything so fast and everybody wants that instant gratification. Do you think that people starting younger and getting established on products that are actually going to be better for their skin and obviously better routines when it comes to food and health wise versus having to go towards something that's more aggressive because you're like, wait, now that I'm 45 and I've got all these issues and I need to get all of it corrected right now because I wanna look
That
younger.
that is not sustainable. That is not reality. That is not how anything Rome wasn't built in a day. Neither can be a lifestyle. I think starting younger has its, you know, issues right at the same time. Like women or men should not think they have to use beauty products or they should have to use these things. As a father of 3 daughters, I agree 100%. But at the same time, protecting yourself from sun damage, keeping your skin hydrated with a decent barrier is different than, some of the marketing that's going on in cosmetics and skincare, right? The aspirational look should not be what we're telling people to go for. We should telling people to use products that maintain your skin, treat issues or address issues like dryness, sun protection, something that's overall well-being. Again, I can relate it to exercise, right? Like you can see for men, You could see people, huge guys, jacked, all these muscles, and most men, that's what I wanna be. They'll never get that way, right? That shouldn't be the goal. The goal should be a normal, fit-looking person who can run around and exercise and have a sustainable lifestyle, which can be obtained for people because that is more functional than being massive, right? Like, again, those have their places, but for the male, I could talk to the male side all the time, like, you'll see reels or influencers be like, "Oh, I work out 10 hours a day with my biceps 25 inches." No one's gonna look like that, right? They're probably doing other things too on top of that that they're not telling you. And
Mhm.
even so, I don't know if I'd wanna wake up at 3 in the morning, run 10 miles, go in a cold plunge, eat only raw eggs, and eat a liver of an animal, and then run up a mountain. What do you do the rest of the day? Your whole life your whole life is stuck to looking like that,
Right.
right? And that's
That's their
not
identity at that point.
and so that is not reality. I think it should be, "Hey, your skin is very important. It's something you don't appreciate until it's too late. Here are some simple things you can do. You can protect it from the sun. You can keep it hydrated, keep the barrier intact so you don't get dryness, redness affected by pollen or allergens or all this other stuff. And just be mindful of what you put on your skin and what you eat and keep it sustainable. And same thing with food and stay active. You don't have to run 20 miles a day, but sitting down for 13 hours a day is not ideal, right? There has to be some middle ground. And I tell my daughters that, and I have them use some of my products, and they're like, "Daddy, why do you use this, or what is it for?" I said, "Oh, it makes your skin feel better, makes the skin soft, but you're always beautiful anyway. This isn't for that." They're like, "Oh, it's so great, whatever." But that's what I think. Like, it's everyone wants instant. Everyone wants to be something that they can't be, or try to be something they can't be, and what they see is only a fraction of actually what their life is, and I'm sure if they saw the real thing, they wouldn't wanna be doing that anyway.
That's very true. I like that. So, as skincare becomes more science backed, what are some red flags that consumers should be watching for?
I think they should be watching for if it's anything novel, right? So it's one thing to say, "Oh, it's clinically tested," but for what? What was the clinical test? Was it just put on people to see if it made them itch? Because that's technically a clinical test. You wanna see what the data is. Was it done with equipment and actually measured, or was it just a subjective questionnaire where, "Oh, does your skin feel better? Yes or no?" Well, I mean, it feels a little better, so then you know what I mean? Like, empirical data, actual measurements, stuff like that where you could see the difference. That should be what you look for. Some of the things like clean, this and that, there's a lot of gray areas around that. I mean, we're EWG verified, we're certified clean, certified natural, but they have so many different standards. It's
Mhm.
just, you know, I would say do a little education on yourself, look some stuff up, learn about it. You'll find things on all different spectrums, right? You'll have some that say it's the worst thing for you, you'll say some things that's the best thing for you. Try to find something in the middle, make your own decision, and then honestly, use products that you like and that you see work. Anyone can tell me to drink something and it'll be amazing. But if I take a sip and it doesn't work for me, I'm not going to buy it. It should be the same thing for your skincare. If it doesn't feel right, if it doesn't work for you, if you don't enjoy using it, then don't use it, right? Don't listen to someone saying that you should use it's the best thing but try it, if it works for you, use it and stick with it and be consistent. That's the main thing. Don't hop around. Use it for a few months, see how you like it, and if you're satisfied with it, just keep going.
Yeah. There's a lot of really good marketing right now. How do you help people, or what would you say to someone to help them differentiate between just really good marketing versus real innovation? I like how you said, just some of the labels and things that are on product, but when you see a lot of influencers that, will talk about these, and then half the time you can't even tell if it's AI doing
That's
it
a whole
for you.
that's that's the whole other thing. I mean, like I said, if you listen to, if you take what I say to heart and you just look for 3 main products, go
Mhm.
and try some, right? Don't like, you can read the packaging and they're all gonna say the same very similar things, right? But look for consistency, look for feel, maybe some key things like, "Oh, I really wanna focus on hyaluronic acid," right? So just go and try some products. The thing with online purchasing and influencers and TikTok shop and all that stuff is you can't really try it.
Mhm.
So you don't even know if you're gonna like the smell. You don't even know if you like the texture of it. And the influencers, they're just pushing products for some stuff. So I would say go and try it in the store. If not, do your research online, look for the clinical data, look at the reviews, and then try it and see it. Unfortunately, that's the only way you can do it.
Yeah.
You can't like, you have to buy one, try it, give it 2 or 3 weeks to go forward. But flashy advertising that doesn't show facts or give citations or it doesn't talk about it. And that's the scientist in me saying, I know as a consumer, not everyone's a trained scientist, but you wanna trust but verify
Right.
is what I should say. Like, okay, they're saying it does this. How can I see it? Do you have any evidence of this that I can look at?
Right. What about ingredients? If you can read the ingredients and you know what's in them, then it should be good for you to so I always find myself looking at those ingredients, but with products.
It's very hard. So I understand this. So that's why on our website, if you go to our product and click ingredients, you can click every single ingredient and a pop-up tells you what it is and what it does and what it's in there for. That's how transparent we are. So if anyone goes to our website, go to the ingredients and you can click each ingredient and it will tell you exactly why it's in there and what it does. Unfortunately, not all companies do that.
Mhm.
But I would look for a big thing is non-comedogenic. So that means it does not plug your pores. That's a big one. You wanna look for that. A dermatologist tested means that a dermatologist was present during a safety test or an efficacy test, and they signed off on the results. That's a decent one to look for. And then, what it's targeting to do if there's evidence for that. But the ingredients are really tough. There's a lot of scientific names on there, and if you Google them, you're not gonna find anything beneficial. It's gonna be some, like, catalog to buy a chemical or something like that.
Mhm.
Just know that there are requirements for cosmetics. They do have to go through safety testing with the new regulations that were passed, so there is some protection there. I mean, for example, we go above and beyond, maybe because we're from the pharma/ biospace. But we do human testing, and then we do, tissue culture testing for eye irritation, skin sensitization, all these different things to make sure our products are super safe, before we even move forward to claim testing. But I can't say that for all brands, but that's something you just have to, again, use the product. If you like it and it works, you go
Yeah.
forward with it.
So really it's more about being conscious of what you're using and being
Mhm.
intentional with what you're choosing.
That's right. It's just like anything. I mean, with food, it's a little easier because, like, we know what lettuce is. We
Mhm.
know what a cheeseburger is. Okay, which one's better? That's not rocket science, right? But when you look at, like, phenoxyethanol or potassium sorbate sodium benzoate, those are 2 different preservative systems. And if you Google phenoxyethanol, you're gonna get all these horrible things. But when you realize that they're only allowed in cosmetics at a certain percentage, and at that percentage or less, they're inert, there's no issue, you know, you're gonna think, "Oh my god, it's in there, it's a horrible product, it's a no ingredient." No, it's actually a great preservative, it's stopping your cosmetics from being contaminated with bacteria that would make you sick,
Mm.
but if you Google it, people are blowing up about it, and sodium benzoate, potassium sorbate, you're like, "Well, those are horrible names," but those are food preservatives in your drinks. So it's like you eat those on a regular basis, but in skincare products, people are like, Why is this in there? I don't understand." Right? And think about it. You need preservatives because you're
Yeah.
touching the product every day with your hands that are full of bacteria in the environment. And imagine if that went rotten in your skincare product, all full of the gross bacteria and everything that's growing in there. And then you put it on your face and you get an infection. No, you need those things. So it's all about educating, understanding what's there, and being realistic with what the products could do.
Yeah. Do you think we're just scratching the surface of what science can do for skin?
100%. I mean, I have some optics into the longevity field and in the pharmaceutical area and drug development, it's a huge, like, there's huge changes that are happening. And I think it's only a matter of time before this comes into cosmetics.
That's exciting. So
Mhm.
what is next? What's on the horizon for you for your company and yeah, what do you see?
So we have a new ingredient launching this year, which protects from urban pollution, dust, UVB damage, DNA damage. That's very exciting, and that could be in a whole new product line. I love the reception that Layer 1 is having. It is breaking ground in so many areas. People are loving it. We're getting so many awards. People are aware of what we're doing. Um, our ingredients continue to gain traction. It's just so exciting to see that people are excited and welcoming from a science-based company that's making these ingredients to address problems that obviously haven't been addressed for decades, even though they say they are.
Yeah,
So I'm just happy we can make an impact. I mean, remember, I never thought I'd be in the cosmetic space. I never thought I'd take something from the International Space Station and make it into a product that's sold worldwide. I mean, how many people can say that? That, you go from a R&D experiment in a test tube to now being sold around the world.
that's pretty
It's
awesome.
yeah, it's a phenomenal feel, it's surreal, and the best thing is when we get emails or people call about how our products have really changed their lives for the better, and that just makes it worth the while.
Absolutely. So, if there's one thing, this is my last question for you. If there's one thing that you think people should know about just taking care of longevity, of their skin health, what would you say?
I have a saying, I say it all the time, it's like a broken record, but it's inch by inch, life's a cinch, yard by yard, life is hard. And that can be applied to everything. You can't expect to go from 0 to hero right away, right? You need to take small incremental changes that accumulate to something big over time, but the big thing is they're sustainable and something that you can continue to do throughout your whole life, and they will build it, have a positive impact. Like we talked about, you can't expect overnight to be changed, but if you focus on your diet, you focus on sleeping, you focus on mental health, hydration, and have a decent, intentional skincare routine, over time, you will see that. And you'll just wake up one day and be like, wow, what happened? It's just like dieting, just like exercising. You don't notice anything until you notice it. And then it's a positive reaction that you can continue to build on. That is what I want to say to everyone. Like, dieting's not easy, wellness is not easy, skincare is not easy, anything's not easy when we're bombarded by marketing and sales and the next best thing with FOMO, but
Mhm.
consistency and time will give you the results you want, and once you get there, you'll appreciate it so much you'll never wanna go back. Where I feel like with instantaneous things, you get it instantly, you don't appreciate what you have, you're on to the next thing, and then
Mhm.
it's gone.
Yeah, I love it. That's so good. Thank you so much, Dr. Landry. It's been such a pleasure having you on and giving us so much really good information. If anyone wants to find Delavie Sciences, where can they go if
Right,
they're looking to purchase and try some products?
you can go to dalavsciences.com to find it. We're also on Amazon. We're on Instagram at Delavie Sciences, and the same thing with TikTok, Delavie Sciences. So you can go there, learn all about the products. And if you want to follow me, I'm at Kyle S. Landry, PhD on Instagram. I'm not that active on there, but I do post stuff now and then. That should be interesting.
Awesome. Okay. Well, thank you so much. It was great talking to you.
No, thank you so much for having me.
Thanks for spending a few minutes with me and listening to That's Derm Good. You can expect new episodes of That's Derm Good every week. The podcast is available on your favorite app, including where you're listening right now. Subscribe to the podcast so you never miss a new episode. Bye.